The class that I taught this spring is part of a course sequence supported by the Civic and Community Engagement Program. And the way the program works is that students take a class with you for 2 semesters with the idea that the community work that they do is more continuous in time, and it allows them to draw deeper connections. The second class is a conversation class. So my topic had to do with the Spanish-speaking community in Charlottesville, the immigrant community, the challenges they face, but also the contributions they make to our community. So my students were going once a week to either work tutoring kids with their English and their homework, or they were going to the Latino Free Clinic and they were interpreting for patients. So that was not possible to be done anymore. The students were, sad, and they were confused, all the emotions that the students felt. The community agents reacted very beautifully by, taking a little bit of time and then emailing the students with an update of how they were facing themselves the challenge, and how they were going seeking to continue supporting and helping the communities that they serve, and thanking them for the work they had previously done. The second part of the semester, we did a completely different project that involved working with the testimony, which is the life story of a community member, a Spanish-speaking community member from Central America who has come to the United States. And she wrote this beautiful account of her life story. What the students did was they polished my translation. I'm not an English speaker, and the original text is very oral, and it's hard for me to know what sounds oral in English. So I just did a very, literal translation to get the information across. But the students helped, they read it in Spanish, they met with her, and they tried to convey in English the quality of her voice. What really moved me from the reaction was that reflective part, what does it mean to be an ally, What does the work that I've done mean? How do you do it carefully and respectfully? Of course, they learn Guatemalan history, but I think that lesson that has to do with process, with respect, was the deeper lesson that they learned. And I learned a lot in this process. The projects were not traditional, and sometimes I had doubts, and I was trying to be, if anything, I tried to be extra careful, If I was going to make a mistake, was to be too careful. And I learned a lot in that as a teacher. How do you present a project? What is the purpose? Why are we doing this? How are we doing it? What are the students gaining from it? What are my expectations from students? So that was very powerful for me. My advice to other faculty members, other faculty that are teaching community engaged courses in the next academic year, as we face the challenges of teaching online or hybrid courses, my biggest advice is to listen, to listen very closely, and to try to adapt your class to what the real needs are, knowing that those needs may evolve and change, and you'll have to shift gears. I think the fact that I teach a language and a culture is very important to me, and that's what motivates everything that I do. And I think being a teacher of Spanish in this time of trauma is even more meaningful, because it's a language that is spoken where we live, in our small community, in our larger communities, the second language in the United States. And the communities that are having additional issues in this time of trauma may not be speakers of English. So, teaching Spanish or being a Spanish teacher is even more important to me these days. And it even gives me more of a sense of purpose.